Legalizing Marijuana by Evan Bone. Why legalize medicinal marijuana? Marijuana is one of the safest therapeutically active known substances. It is best used to control nausea and chemotherapy regarding cancer or nausea disorders. The only way you could overdose from marijuana is to consume a toxic amount of delta-9 tetrahydrocannabinol, which is THC. A toxic amount would be having to smoke 15,000 joints in 20 minutes, which is physically impossible. In 10,000 years of known use of cannabis, there has never been a single death attributed to marijuana. Health pros. One very popular side effect of marijuana is that it can reduce pain. It also helps treat appetite loss associated with HIV/AIDS and certain types of cancers. Marijuana can relieve nausea, vomiting, and reduce spasticity of the muscles for people with Tourette's and other spastic diseases. It has not been proven that marijuana increases the risk of lung disease. Health cons. Marijuana does carry a risk of addiction like most other drugs. It also has the potential to cause damage to your lung tissue. Frequent use can impair your cognitive ability regarding the way you speak, calculate thoughts, reasoning, problem solving, and just simple decision making. It can also have an effect on short-term memory. Diseases that marijuana has been proved to help. Cancer. Marijuana helps slow down tumor growth in the lungs, breasts, and brain considerably. Seizures. Marijuana is a muscle relaxant and has antispasmodic qualities, which have been proven to be very effective treatment for seizures. More than 300,000 cases of migraines have been treated by marijuana that conventional medicines could not treat. Glaucoma. There is not a single valid study that exists that disproves marijuana's powerful effects on glaucoma patients. Sclerosis. Marijuana works to stop the neurological effects and muscle spasms that come from this fatal disease. Tourette's and OCD. The effects from marijuana slow down the tics in those suffering from Tourette's and the obsessive neurological symptoms in people with obsessive compulsive disorder. ADD and ADHD. Ritalin is an alternative for marijuana and treats the disorder without any of the negative side effects of the pharmaceutical. Marijuana blocks the deposits in the brain that cause this disease we know as Alzheimer's. Marijuana is often used to treat cramps and discomfort premenstrual syndrome. IBS and Crohn's. Marijuana helps with the symptoms of the chronic diseases as it stops nausea, abdominal pain, and diarrhea. Alright, now this is the most updated statistical map of our status on the legalization of marijuana in America. There are 26 states that marijuana possession is always a criminal offense. 9 states allow the legalization of medical marijuana. There are 8 states in which the states have actually decriminalized marijuana. Now, decriminalized means that you cannot be prosecuted for possessing or using a small amount of marijuana, but it would still not be legal to sell or possess large quantities. Now, 7 states, which is 14% of our country, has officially legalized marijuana. Now, that includes Oregon, Nevada, California, Colorado, Maine. I think Washington is legal now. Why is it illegal again? Medical marijuana may be beneficial for everyone's health, but it's not very healthy for the pockets of the pharmaceutical companies. Since no company can patent a plant, pharmaceutical industries are incentivized to keep cannabis and industrial hemp illegal as they try to recreate the same drug with the same effects. The idea of legalizing a cheap, which is an all-natural medicine that grows out of the ground, is a threat to the pharmaceutical industry's bottom line. Legality and other issues. Around $10 billion in America is spent every year on keeping marijuana illegal. Over the past 13 years, the use of marijuana has increased 6.5%. Probably even more now that marijuana is legal in some states and decriminalized in others. In 2011, there were 853,000 arrests regarding marijuana. 750 of those 853,000 arrests were for simple possession alone. The casualties comparing to marijuana is shocking. There are 2.5 million deaths a year caused by alcohol and 500,000 by tobacco. Not one single death has ever been recorded from the use of marijuana. Yet alcohol and tobacco is legal and marijuana isn't? That doesn't make sense. Colorado's economy. Colorado saved upwards of $40 million when it stopped cracking down on marijuana crime. Imagine what that could do across America. In the mere 2.5 months since legalization went into effect, marijuana in Colorado has left the rest of the world in awe. On the first day of sales, the drug made $1 million. According to a budget proposal by the governor of Colorado, the state is expecting roughly $1 billion in sales for the rest of the fiscal year, generating roughly $100 million in revenue for the state. The money is said to be used to build new schools. Marijuana-related arrests have plummeted in Colorado, freeing up law enforcement to focus on other criminal activity. By removing marijuana penalties, the state saved somewhere between $12 million and $40 million in 2012. But how much could marijuana sales add up to if legalization went national? There are a variety of estimates, but when you put them all together, it's a range of $10 billion to over $120 billion per year. Over time, that has the potential to keep our country out of the huge debt that we're in. Keeping marijuana illegal is possibly keeping billions of dollars out of the economies in the most rural parts of America, preventing these regions from banking on America's biggest cash crop. Weed would be the biggest cash crop. Some studies claim marijuana is the biggest cash crop in America, easily exceeding the combined value of corn, which is $23.3 billion, and wheat, which is $7.5 billion. The U.S. government could save $13.7 billion and eliminate enforcement costs and adding billions in tax revenue if they would legalize marijuana. It can decrease the rate of unemployment. There would be more jobs available to the many people out there that do not have any by opening up marijuana dispensaries for medical marijuana. And dispensary ads would also boost newspaper revenue. Public safety. Marijuana can cause driving to be more difficult than normal, and it sometimes can decrease reaction time. The drug cartels and criminals love that marijuana is illegal because they are still able to receive their funds. It is easier for youths to get a hold of marijuana when it is illegal. And more than half of all the drug arrests in our country result in marijuana possession. Compared to this time last year, the overall property crime rate in Denver, Colorado has decreased by 14.6%. As for homicide rates, while not leaving the single digits in either year, fell by 66.7%, while the number of robberies decreased by 7%. Other violent offenses have remained consistent. We're excited.